right, we're in.
Is it time
Is it time? It is time.
for episode 6?
It is time for episode 6 of TyriaNow.
We've done 6 of these. Well, we haven't done 6 of these.
Well,
we are
this
in the
is our
process of doing
Our
the
sixth.
6th of these.
Yes. I am Miko. He is Aaron. We are here to entertain your life away. Maybe, maybe not.
Away?
I don't know.
No.
Let's not
We
do
want
that.
you. We want
We
you.
want you here.
We want you intact, so you can watch episode 7 next time.
That's right. We're a little early today because Aaron's got nightly plans.
I'm busy later, so
He's having a party or something.
yeah, I'm having a party. I'm not. I'm going out to dinner with my parents,
Aw, that's nice.
but hardly a party.
Well, you could make it a party.
Mm-mm.
No party.
No. Mm-mm.
No, none of the alcohol in the world would turn that into a party.
I don't think so. No.
I'm sorry.
I am pre-gaming though, apparently. Why not?
He did say parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
no
all right.
no hot dates, Lent. No hot date. It's not that exciting.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I tried to
Not
find
that
a gift that was going to be really exciting and party life for us when I announced it earlier that we were going to be early. Maracas and drinks and whistles
Well,
and
it's
stuff.
Saturday night. We got to go out and hit the town.
That's right.
Nope. Not here.
Why can't it be both? Exactly.
Why not both?
I know. So, what have you been up to this week, Aaron?
Outside of crippling work schedule, I have been farming silver waste for legendary armor. I think that's the exact answer I gave last episode.
It's possible.
This pretty much just been a blur of work and sometimes occasionally silver waste for the last 2 months.
Yeah.
And I still don't have legendary armor. It's not finished yet.
It's all right. You'll get there.
Yeah, in the distant future, someday.
You're nearly there though. You weren't far off when we talked earlier this week. You were like, I need to just get this, and then I'll be done.
I need.
Because you did your Mystic Clovers.
I did them. They're done. Yeah, they're just sitting there.
And you know what I realized after we talked is that I'm short 30.
That's not so bad. 30? That's chill. I had to make 71.
I'll have to just go into the Mystic toilet and persuade Zamros to give me some.
I mean, it just hit wing 6 extra hard. It's bully him into submission.
Yeah.
Legend has it, if you complete wing 6 enough times, you get 1 free Mystic Clover.
Is that right?
No, I made that up.
I'd be farming that thing every day. I'm like, I didn't hear that raid reward. What the heck?
No,
The hidden reward. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that would be amazing though.
I made that up. It's not a thing.
Guild Wars ArenaNet should listen though. That would be amazing.
Imagine if ArenaNet listened.
Hey, they listened to you today, didn't they?
They did. For the viewers, today I tweeted at ArenaNet that they should pin their Living World teaser tweet because it wasn't pinned, right? And I was trying to find it earlier today. So, of course, I go to guildwars2.com, right? I'm like, everything's on the website. It's not there. They didn't put their own teaser on their own website. Just
I thought they had because they
No.
teased it out to their social media.
it's
all
not
over their
there.
social media.
Yeah, it's not on the website. So I had to scroll. I went to their Twitter. I was like, oh, that'll be the pinned tweet, right? No.
It is
So
now.
so after I scrolled through pages and pages of retweet our convention thing, right? I found it, and it took me so long to find it. I tweeted at them, somewhat perturbed, and I was like, you guys should probably pin this. And then 3 hours later, they totally pinned it.
Yeah. So
I choose to take credit for that. Probably a coincidence, but I choose to take credit.
well,
It was a good story to start the podcast.
It was a
off
good
on.
story.
Yeah.
And
Cool story, bro.
yeah. I have been I've been farming raids as I do.
Can you farm raids?
Yeah. When
That's
you
a farm.
repeat kill bosses, you're farming them basically. And that's
Huh.
what happens. I've got one group who's on Doom progression. I've got another group that's on Largos Twins progression, which we got really close on Monday. We killed both of the twins, just not at the same time. So hopefully Monday that'll happen. Um, you need multiple. Yes, this is true. And I have a second account. I just don't want to take her into raids. I used her today to open up an instance because I've been leading a couple of class trainings, organizing class trainings for raiders across several guilds. So yeah, that's
Chat
what
Chat
I've been
really knows
doing.
how to push my buttons. Like everything else in Guild Wars 2, you need multiple accounts to farm raids properly. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on the
Okay.
multiple accounts rant. We've been down that road. It's been done.
Yeah,
Go watch, I think, episode like 2.
two or
Go
something.
watch that.
You can hear his rant.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I'm still collecting things, but I did get into Tangled Depths. I've been working on that to farm up my leyline crystals, which I'm about halfway done, and I need chalk eggs now. And apparently I
Nice.
need to go and find the Mystic Forge to make some 30 odd more.
You need to go and find the Mystic Forge. Do you not know where it is?
I have one in my bank, as a matter of fact.
You have the conduit. I don't have
I
the
do.
conduit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
I
I
don't have it.
realized how easy it was to make, I was like, why didn't I do this earlier? Let me
It's
just do it
only
now.
like 60 gold or something like that. It's
It's simply,
honestly,
it's dumb.
honestly, you should buy. Like, in me not having it is kind of stupid because it's ridiculously cheap.
Yeah, and it's convenient. If you don't want to like travel across the map, you can just go,
Don't
oh, hey, here I go.
don't you have the Mistlock Pass though?
I
That,
do.
that is a Mystic Forge, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, Mistlock
But
Pass is overpowered.
sometimes, I'm like not in the Mistlock Sanctuary and I just want to do something quickly. So I can just pull it out of my bank and there I go.
Chat says it's only like 30 gold. Shoot, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's not expensive at all. It's super easy to make.
I should get another shared inventory and pop that thing in there.
There you go. These
It
are
might be
goals.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we've been doing. We've been working towards legendary armor in our own distinct ways.
Yeah, that's what we're both doing right now, isn't it? We're both
Yeah.
on the Legendary Armor quest.
Mhm.
Pathetic. Pathetic. Can you believe it's been out for like almost 3 years now and neither of us have it?
Yeah.
Pathetic.
It's all right. I only need it because of my chrono life. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't bother, to be honest.
I only need it because everyone else has it and I'm tired of not having it. I don't even want it. I don't want it.
It's good.
But I need to have it.
I will have one piece. It's the helm, and being able to stat swap and rune swap is very nice and convenient. So
I can't make it one piece at a
I'm
time.
looking forward to the day when my inventory bags are cleared of armor, and then I can fill them up with trinkets and runes and
You can
weapons.
salvage all that ascended armor into globs of dark matter that you can then use to craft ad infinitum. Big brain efficiency.
Yes, that would be the case, but I'd have to actually work on fractals and things. Which, by the
Oh, you
way,
just have to do. You literally just have to do dailies for a month. That's all ad infinitum is. Is I did a month of fractal dailies. That's it. It's
hmm,
the whole back piece.
I forgot to
Yeah.
tell you that I have an offer from a couple of my raiders that want to get back into fractals. If we want to get back into fractals at some point. See, Josh is down for fractals.
I already got my ad infinitum. I'm out. Can't pull me back in. I'm out.
We'll pull him back in, Josh.
I never have a reason to do fractals ever again.
All right. All right. We're going to stop waffling here.
Maybe we should talk about news. Wow.
Let's talk about news. What's happened in the world of Tyria the past couple of weeks, Aaron? I almost called you Josh. Oh my God. What the hell?
I think that there's a roadmap.
Here's the roadmap.
Yeah, I think that that term is weird.
It is.
Roadmap. It's
It
for
is.
like we haven't used roadmap since 1989, right? Like, why do we call it that? I don't know.
I mean, they're on the Google Maps. The Google machine has them.
I know, but like, we don't really call it a roadmap. I don't know. It seems like an antiquated bit of terminology that has seemed to have stuck with us.
Yes.
Right?
Thank you, 20th century.
Yeah. But yeah, Mike Z posted a roadmap for Guild Wars. I'm just going to use the term anyway. Posted a roadmap for Guild Wars 2 on the forum. No, just on the website. Not even on the forums, just on the website. And it includes a lot of juicy stuff. Just some generic bullet points on game philosophy, literally meaningless waffle, right? Encourage players to interact positively,
Yeah,
like that.
none of that is any different from what they've.
Sort of like 1984 style
It's been
corporate speak.
it's been their core philosophy forever.
Yeah, you'd see those same bullet points on any video games, like what we
Yes.
want.
Let's
Thing,
please
right?
again. We should probably disclaimer this. Don't call this a manifesto, guys. even though
Yeah.
you'll call this a manifesto, and the roadmap that is gonna make them keep to their promises. No, he was very clear about saying no, that we have no timetables for this. So
If there's one thing,
soon, TM, and maybe later.
first of all, I think Mike Z is an awesome game director. But
Yes.
if there's one thing that he learned from Colin, it's to always put the caveat of this might never happen. Every post he's ever done since becoming game director, he's included this might not happen
Right.
on every
Yeah.
single bullet point.
Well, they
So
learned the hard way, unfortunately.
yeah, they did. Because like, dude, Colin was a great game director too, but he liked to
Colin with
be
a
like,
smile. He
yeah,
was so
he like
enthusiastic. I loved him. I miss
he
him.
loved to get people excited, right?
Yes, he was so
And
good at it.
people get excited with absolutes. So
Yes.
Colin would throw out a lot of absolutes, and Mike definitely doesn't do that. And just because we've experienced what absolutes can mean in this industry, I honestly get more excited for these maybes now because
Hey, maybe is a hey. It's a maybe.
at least they're
They're
honest
being
maybes.
honest, yes.
They're honest maybes, right? That's what we can call them.
So they've got a new team structure is what they're calling it, which seems. I remember looking at this going skills and balance rewards WW and SPVP. How are these new? Because I thought these were in place always.
I'm worried about it actually. A lot of people have said that they like these new team structures. I don't know. I think they seem very broad,
I
and
think they seem very the same.
I would almost prefer more smaller teams with a more direct focus than just like those are the PvP guys. There's like 30 of them, right? Like that seems
So they've got the fully
messy.
staffed content teams, which he didn't, and teams, it's content teams plural, and he didn't say what they are, along with the core skills balance rewards WW and SPVP,
Mm-hmm.
which is the same part of it. I think it was interesting that I haven't heard anyone say, well, what are those content teams? But I think we could
won't
probably
tell you.
no,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's probably going to be Living World, the Raids team, Fractal team, Festival team, because that's still around.
I don't know, just the way he described it in
X-Pac
his
team
post.
that for the X-Pac that doesn't seem to be on the table at the moment.
Yeah, like who knows? Like, don't use the E word with Guild Wars too, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, chat makes a good point. 30 PvP guys in what world? I know. But yeah, I felt like the way it was described in the post is kind of broad, but you're right. We don't know we don't know if there are subdivisions or not. So
No,
I
I
just
think that there must be.
because I like to see focus, right? Like
Yeah.
I like to see direct focus in small teams. I mean, I'm not a game developer, right? But when they made the swap to from the like relatively, I don't want to say disorganized, but when they had those big broad teams from launch up till Heart of Thorns, and then post Heart of Thorns, Mike O stepped in and restructured the teams, and content pace started getting good. Like it started getting really good, right? So I almost liked the way we had it already.
And I think that what's probably, I mean, he talks about content teams will have more flexibility to decide what makes sense for a given release. We could focus on expanding boundaries and content of an existing map if that's going to be better instead of just providing a new map. That
So there'll be
I still think that there are
there'll
going to be multiple teams that'll be working simultaneously on different releases
I would
because
assume
that
so,
makes
yeah.
the most, I think, sense
Yeah.
for their cadence, even though they haven't been sticking to their cadence very well past season.
Well, and I can like this episode's like over a month late, right? But like they had massive layoffs, so that kind of
Yes, the incident of February. What was it called?
it was expected, right? It was
Yes.
expected. So I don't really blame them for that. I don't blame the team makeup necessarily for late release because they've been consistently late through all of season 4. Really,
Yeah.
Season 3 had several episodes that were relatively on time, I believe.
Yeah.
But season 4 things started to kind of fall apart. I think it might have just been because they were getting more and more ambitious with what they would put in per episode.
Well, I think it was also because they had people working on the unnamed, now canceled
Yeah.
projects.
Guild
So they
Wars 3.
So they had personnel that was diverted elsewhere.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I like Mike Z as a game director. He seems to have good ideas about where he wants the game to go.
Hmm.
And he seems to understand the importance of communicating with the player base. So I'm willing to roll with him on the team shakeups, right? I'm going to roll with him on this one.
So we found out that in the next few months we're going to be, well, we already have the Super Adventure Box Festival that's already in game, and that's going to go through the end of this month, through what, the
Mhm.
27th, I think.
28th,
Okay.
April 18 to 28, I want to say.
And then
April
the
18, sorry. April 18.
the thing that he doesn't mention, but what is currently one of their campaigns right now, their marketing campaigns, is this Welcome Back to GW2
Hmm.
thing that's going on, and we're now in what, the second week of that. And each week they've had ANET devs and ArenaNet partners streaming the episodes from season 4, which is something that they had done back in, I want to say it was before, we did it before Path of Fire, and I think it happened as well before season 3, because I remember that we did, Guildmag streamed season 2 episode as kind of like this hyping up for the next season or the next thing. Um, and we did it as well for at the end of season 3. So this whole campaign seems to be following that same kind of cadence of what was previously done. So if we stick to that, we're going to get through episode 5 by the end of this month. And then we'll probably get this thing that he's talking about, that the current activities or current events team is going to bridge between the end of episode 5 and into the last episode, episode 6.
Yeah, yeah, they've got a current events on the calendar in the roadmap. That's the next thing that's mentioned on the roadmap is the current events that's going to be coming in before the next Living World episode. I hope that gives it some context.
I hope so too.
Going into it. Yeah, I don't usually play the current events, but I should just go through and play it because
Some
like
of them are quite good.
you can still play them. Like they're all
Yes,
still
they're
playable.
all
I
still
think
in the
I should
game.
just go binge all of them. Just make
Hmm.
a stream out of it
Yeah,
because they're all pretty short. Like they're not
and they're all open
super
world,
involved.
and they're
Yeah,
usually pretty quick to do. There were some that were a little bit more involved where you needed a couple of players to like do the leyline energy events, for example.
yeah. But
Um,
now everybody does those because you need one of the drops from it for
Something.
something. I did it. I don't even remember what it is.
Yeah.
I just remember it was the beetle. Yeah, the roller beetle.
Okay. And then
The
there was
drop
like the
from the roller
bloodstone.
beetle.
Yes, from the leyline anomaly.
Hmm. And there are those bloodstone crazed
Crazed creatures
creatures.
that do still show up in open world, and you get them
Yeah,
in the hot
including the
maps.
devourer in Silver Waste,
Hmm.
which will ruin your day.
It will. And your best bet is to take it out as quickly as possible so it doesn't ruin your day.
Oh no, that's not. We ignore it in Silver Waste. We just
No,
ignore it.
people,
Yeah,
kill it. Just kill it. It doesn't
it
take very
takes
long.
way too long to kill. It takes a solid 5 minutes of a full Zerg
Oh my
Wayland.
God, 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Five
it does.
minutes.
It does. In a Reba rotation, 5 minutes is a big deal. All
But
right.
dude, just kill it. Get
Uninterrupted Reba
throw a
is a
little
20 minute
swat at
cycle.
it, and then you'll just be happy.
Gold per hour. That's all I'm saying.
You can
Gold
get
per
more
hour.
gold, more
That's
gold.
fun. That's money in your pocket. You get one champ bag out of that kill. It's not worth it. One champ bag every 5 minutes
You can get it for
is
the
that's
things that you need for the current events. There you go.
that's terrible.
So we're going to be getting episode 6, which we're going to be talking about in a little while, since they released a little teaser trailer. And then the next Raid Wing is coming, which is going to be continuing the story of Kadim, who is
Yes.
the big bad that we have to fight in Wing 6 with Zomros.
I
And
wish I knew more about the poor lad.
spoiler alert, we don't kill him in Wing 6. He just kind of is
You just
defeated and then
defeat him.
disappears.
Yeah, the classic anime. He's defeated, but
Yes,
he's not dead.
that's right.
Then he
He's
comes
defeated.
out bigger and stronger 2 seasons later. Not 1 season later, but 2 seasons later.
So
Except this time it's literally the next wing, but that's
yeah. So that'll be interesting because Wing 6 is very it's not a terribly difficult wing. The difficulty has been probably, I don't know, maybe almost level of wing 3 or 2. I'd want to say it's not that hard.
Mhm.
Um, it takes a bit of, there's a big DBS check on the Largos twins, but you stack mirages in your front for the most part. Although Josh doesn't like to talk about the Largos twins right now, so we'll just leave him alone. Um,
Pretend I know what all of this means.
so yeah, you're fighting two bosses basically, and you've got to separate because there's two of them, and you got to kill them. And they're
It's like
Largos, so
that.
they're mean because they're assassins.
It's like that. You know that boss fight in Ascalon Catacombs where you have to separate the two people. It's like that, except actually good.
Yes. Yes, those are the two Mesmers, as a matter of fact, from Guild Wars 1.
Yeah, they were so proud of that fight at launch,
I
and
mean, at
now it's
launch
kind of a joke.
it was kind of hard because nobody had the right gear and nobody knew what to do. But hey. So beyond that, we get the future. So we get season 5 is going to be coming and continuing the tale on. This is where the post gets, the roadmap gets a little vague,
This
right?
is where things get controversial.
So the Commander's Tale will continue in season 5. We already knew this was going to be happening. Um, and the teams are getting going and plans are becoming more cemented. So there's a lot still up in the air, I think, is what's happening here.
The cement is drying.
The cement is drying. And so they're talking about some quality of life things, some horizontal progression things that they've got on the table as coming into the game. And then in bold print, please understand that these are all works in progress, so details can change between here and the final version, which I love his disclaimer there. And we don't have a
Yeah,
timeline, which is also very
that's
important.
classic Mike Z. Gives the
Classic Mike
disclaimer
Z.
every time. He checks himself before he wrecks himself. I like that.
So the thing that made Aaron cry and go into dismay was this idea of releasing legendary runes and sigils as the components of
Oh,
legendary core equipment.
it's not bad, guys. It's not bad. It's good, right?
Now,
But
now, now you're okay. Are you
no,
okay?
I'm just not looking forward to doing it. Like it's good that those will exist, right? We should have those, but what fresh hell am I going to have to put myself through to get these? Like that's every time a new type of legendary comes out now, I'm just like, oh god, what am I going to have to do for this one? Like after the horror that was Heart of Thorns legendary collections, I'm just I'm prepared for anything now.
Hmm.
Like what hellacious thing could they come up with
I'm
to
interested
for me
in
to have to
knowing
get
what
this?
this is going to actually, how this is going to work. Because if it's going to be legendary, legendaries are always stat selectable, right? That's what we
Mm.
have. That's the model that we know of for the legendaries that are in game.
I believe I know exactly how this is going to work.
All right, let's see if your theory is matches my theory. Go ahead.
I think it's going to be a rune you can swap between any rune effect in the game.
Rune effect, define.
Like you could turn it from a rune of Balthazar into a rune of the Centaur.
Yeah. So basically
Yeah.
like the PvP rune type system where you can just choose whatever you want.
Yep.
That's what I think it's going to be as well.
Yeah. Like if you like, it's not going to be more powerful than superior runes. It's not going to happen. They haven't said anything in this post about ascended runes, so there won't be a power jump
Mm-mm.
between superior runes and legendary runes. I believe the legendary will just be selectable between any rune effect. That's my theory.
Yeah, that's my theory as well.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I think it makes the most sense. It mirrors a system that's already in game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
So,
you have the stat select drop down.
I mean, you've got the stat select drop down, and then you've also got the system that's in PvP where you can just select whatever rune and sigil that you want.
Yeah,
So that
you
those
just have to
systems are
have it
already in
open.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah, so just
it'll just
applying it
open an
to
interface.
right. And
For that.
then what steps are we going to have to jump through in order to get this is the thing.
Oh, I don't
And will
even.
it be actually worthwhile? I mean, I think people with a lot of gold on hand will, I'm sure, will go after this hard
The
and get it
gold's
quickly.
not even what I'm scared of. Just like ever since having to do the Wayfarer's Henge for Aurora, right?
Hmm.
Like just these maddening time-gated nonsense things that you have to do for these legendaries.
And yeah, and then was it the ring that you can get through parts of it out in the open world and parts of it in Wing 6? No,
For the
5.
weapons.
5,
Yeah.
in the raid wing. In Hall of Chains. You can is less painful than Aurora, but still you have to go into the raid wing to get the pieces
Exactly.
and
And
defeat the boss.
for non-raiders, it's pretty much an automatic no, right? And if I have to raid for legendary runes and sigils, guess I'll never have it.
Or you buy a clear or come on a group that will carry you through, and will be happy to carry you through. I mean, those are options that are always available, but yeah, it's not the most ideal.
But and you have to do like I don't know how many raid encounters you have to do for it. It could be
You
5,
need
10,
There are
15.
3 drops that come out of and they're like the random loot chests. They're not like from out of the boss chests. So they have a chance to drop, but they're usually a pretty high chance to drop. So
Mm.
you need the chest that you can get after Solus Horror, the chest that you can get after Statues, and then the chest after Doom.
I
So
like
you
chat.
basically you just need a clear of Wing 5.
Mm. I like chat. Aaron doesn't need a carry. He's a legendary player, dude. We're bringing back the double pistol scrapper meta. It's coming back, guys. It's coming back. I promise. I'll bring it back one of these days.
So
People will learn.
yeah. And then, but yeah, obviously it's not as involved as Aurora. The reason why I haven't gone for Aurora, even though I've completed Wayfarer's Henge, is the thought of going back into Draconis Mons actually gives me PTSD. And it's one of the reasons why I won't even go in, or hardly go in, to farm for Fire Orchids, even though I need it for one of the Chrono Foods. I'm like, I'll get budget food, it's fine.
Yeah. Draconis Mons is a fun map once you're not traumatized by it anymore, but it's a long healing period.
It
You have to
is.
heal.
It
Yeah.
is. That's a very good way to put it. It's a long healing period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably not healthy, but
And
it
it's
is what it
hard.
is.
I feel bad for players who are trying to go through it now and having to do the bosses in the metas, the little, you know what I mean, the platform
Yeah.
dudes. Because the few times that I've gone in there since I finished Wayfarer's Henge, I don't see anyone playing those.
No.
And
It's a pain in the ass.
that's sad because the fights themselves aren't necessarily difficult. They are kind of fun, but you need other players to progress them
Oh,
and
the
to
meta
kill them.
bosses, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a full squad thing. Like Chad is saying, they had to fight both of them like 10 times. Yeah, because
Yeah.
people don't show up or they die and they don't waypoint back and you
Right.
fail to fight. And you have to fight both of those end bosses for Draconis Mons, I think like twice each or something like that across the whole collection.
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah,
right.
it's bad. It's not fun, and I'm just like that's the type of stuff that I'm just. It's just a chore for me.
I'm
That's all it is.
wondering if because obviously collections since then have improved in that they're not as tedious.
But
So I think that they have learned. So my hope would be that whatever they put in for a legendary armor, or not, a legendary root and sigil system, if they're going to put it in through a collection thing, that is not going to be. It will still require the player to do stuff, but won't make them want to kill themselves.
yeah, gouge their eyes out with their freshly crafted sunrise.
Yes. Which would be hard to do since that's a great sword. Yeah.
You'll make the point is if you made it, if you did the collection, you'll make it happen. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to whatever fresh hell they come up with to put me through for
So
those.
hopefully we'll see. We'll see. This next one, over the past few months, astute players have been noticing a trend of updates and improvements to how our skill slotting system works, and that's because build templates are coming.
I guess I'm not an astute player because I haven't noticed anything different about the skill slotting system.
So you can, for your trinkets, you can right click on them and tell it to equip into slot 1 or slot 2.
Oh yeah,
And accessories, that was new. Obviously, you can sigil swap into your legendary weapons now. That's new. Um, I think this probably surprised many people. I was probably less surprised because I knew it was gonna come. I
Hmm.
knew it was in the works because it would be stupid for them not to. But when Arc DPS uh, got support from ArenaNet to have their build templates, that was like the big. Here's the big red flag that says build templates are coming in Guild Wars 2 officially at some point. And that
See,
was a couple years ago, granted, but I still thought it would be stupid for them not to do it when it was such a core thing in Guild Wars 1.
my reasoning was the exact opposite. I thought they would never do them and just let people use Arc DPS. Because if you haven't made them 6 years in, are you going
The
to?
thing is that Arc DPS sometimes will break and then the developer has to fix it because of different patches, whereas it would be easier if it was just part of the game. Not that
Sure, it
things
would,
don't
but
break and get bugs in game, but
sure. My thought was just like such a basic feature that they don't have it 5 years in.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I didn't think they were gonna make it.
yeah.
I didn't. I thought that was just gonna be something they were gonna ignore and
And,
plow
and
ahead.
admittedly, I thought it was going to be coming in sooner than now.
Wait,
Um,
6 years too late. We needed this. We needed this at launch. Like
yeah, and I'm
it's
not
it's
sure.
nice, but it's too late.
I'm not sure why they didn't just port that system over from Guild Wars 1 to 2 because it is in 1.
Yeah, and it is. I'm sure the way builds are like skill slotting and builds are constructed on the back end of the game is completely functionally different than Guild
I'm
Wars One,
sure,
which is
yeah.
why the same system probably doesn't work. Basically, I mean, attributes being completely through gear and stuff
Hmm.
like that is completely different from how it was in Guild Wars One, right?
Right.
So I understand why the same system couldn't work. It's just
Yeah.
it's always blown my mind that this wasn't a launch feature.
Right, because it was something that Guild Wars 1 veterans were used to.
It's always blown my mind that they didn't get this out of the gate in the first 2 years. Like, and yeah, I gave up on it. Honestly, I gave up on it by like year three. I was like, well, like when it didn't come with Heart of Thorns, I was like, well then,
Yeah.
you know. But hey, it's good that it's coming out. It's just way too late.
Well, I'll be excited for it nevertheless because I've been reluctant to install ArcDPS's build templates, even though they work.
Hmm.
I just it's enough that I've got ArcDPS and I've got to update it. I
I hate
just
fiddling with builds. I hate it. So it's going to be nicer for me because I hate fiddling with builds. So anything that makes that easier is
my
fantastic.
chrono life is all about fiddling with builds because that's
I hate
all
it.
I have to do.
Like anytime there's like a balance patch and I log because I just log in and I play my characters, right? I don't
Yeah.
want to mess with my build. But
Hmm.
every time there's a balance patch, I have to go through every character and make sure all my traits still work.
Yeah.
Make sure all my like it's so annoying. It's so obnoxious.
I know.
So
Yeah.
anything that makes build life easier is good with me.
Yeah.
Because I can't stand that mess.
So the next thing that they're going to be talking about, or that they've talked about, is increasing max cooking from 400 to 500, and then at some point also jewelry crafting. Um, as
I wonder
he's got jewelry down as further down the road. Um,
I bet they make ascended trinkets stupid expensive to craft to make them still relevant from like the Laurel vendor and from season three and stuff.
I
I
mean,
bet
they're
they'll
everywhere
be
now. You can get ascended trinkets from anything now.
well, and they incentivize gameplay heavily.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people do PvP in World v World just for the tickets and currency to get
Yeah.
ascended trinkets, right?
Yeah.
So I would be willing to bet that crafting ascended trinkets will not be a walk in the park.
Yeah. And I
If
wonder. Well, no, because they don't have. Well, they've got some components that go into legendary gear, but you can't really actually craft through the crafting table. You have to do that stuff through the Mystic Forge. So never mind. Ignore my thought that was developing and is irrelevant.
Yeah, you can't. You definitely can't craft them through the crafting system.
I'm
Yeah,
interested to see like what are we gonna get out of 500 level cooking?
ascended food that is better. would be my guess.
Okay. So how much better? Because what we've got now is pretty okay.
Yeah, probably minor, very minorly better because they can't have too much power creep through food, right?
Right.
It could even be food that has the same stat increases with just a longer duration. So where you'd get a 2 hour duration out of
Yeah.
a top quality meta food item at exotic level, you could get 12 hours out. No, that would discount
That would
primers
discount the
because
primers.
they need to sell primers, but maybe you get 4 hours out of it or 3 hours out of it at ascended quality, right? Something like that.
Because
Or
you
it could just be a minor attribute increase as well.
because you've seen that they've put in a couple of those home instance node thingies, not nodes, but you know what I mean. That they're like boards that you can. No, it's from the farm plots where you can actually create primers. They don't last as long as the gem store ones, but they still extend the duration of your food. So if that is kind of like a template model,
They could also add a third attribute to food because usually food only boosts two things at a time,
hmm
right? They could add a third line item to ascended food.
that's true.
Yeah.
Which would be, which would make things a little bit more interesting.
That would be pretty power creepy, but
Yeah, they'd have to be really
they could
careful
do
about
it.
how they do
Yeah.
that, I'd think.
They would probably be a lot of useless ones, like you get your power and precision and then also toughness. You know, like just something weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, expertise.
Right.
Like
Yeah, but you'd have to make it worthwhile for the Condi.
power, precision, expertise, no Condi to go with the
Yeah.
expertise.
It's gonna be strange.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be interested to see how that develops out.
They also, chat did mention that they think it's going to be a larger scale rework. I think he does say in the post that they want to rework food in general to make lower tier foods more important. So
Yeah, help it
you could probably
reinvigorate various resources throughout the game, make lower tier foods important to the ecosystem.
yeah, probably just a whole cooking overhaul is what you can expect.
Ooh, okay, I'm glad
Because
I got a
cooking,
400 chef already.
yeah, cooking sucks. So probably just a cooking overhaul.
Yeah.
I'll wait till the prices die down on it once 500 comes out before 500ing my cooking.
Yeah.
The game's perfectly playable without food anyway, so
This is
I'm not
true.
super bothered about it.
This is true.
I mean, for World v World, I use food. That's the only thing I use food for. I just get the crappy food from the Badges of Honor vendor. It's terrible, but it's free, essentially, so I use it.
Yeah, I mean, I use food for rating because I have to. Other
Yeah,
than
you have
that,
to use it for rating.
I mean, I'll go into the open world and forget to pop food. I'm like, oh, well, it doesn't really matter.
I use it for fractals too, but I haven't done fractals since January, so I don't even really think about that.
So the next item on their list is a restructuring world versus world initiatives. We mentioned in the past how important world restructuring is to our world versus world initiatives, and that hasn't changed. The programming team is focused on this initiative. That's great. And the team is also focusing on smaller updates that can temporarily change the game mode, like the no downstate week we've had in the past, and are also talking about different types of reward structures for events.
Yeah, so the term world restructuring has been what they've adopted instead of using
Alliances.
the A word. Yeah, they don't want to
Yeah,
use the A word anymore because everything's subject to change.
right.
So yeah, I would probably say yeah, avoid using direct terminology, right? So yeah, world restructuring is that project though. That's what they mean by
hmm
that. And according to I still don't really understand, but according to people who like World v World, alliances world restructuring will be very good. So I'll just let that be. But I don't get it. I won't lie
I
to
don't
you.
think I know enough, or that they've said enough, rather,
I just see
to
it
understand
being
how are meant to benefit the overall mode. I get that you're going to be able to just create alliances with other guilds and then go into
and
one
I
of the
don't see
worlds
how that I
and
don't see how that makes them any different from servers.
right,
I don't see how they will be different from servers. You're going to have the Blackgate Alliance, right? The alliance that wins every matchup because they've got the most people with the best players.
right.
Like, and then you're going to have like the second best and the third. It's going to be the same exact thing. I
Well,
don't get it. I don't get why it's better, but people say it's better. So
Different reward structures, though. This, I mean, reward structures can always use improvement.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not sure what they would do here. Being a World v World casual now, as I am, very casual.
Honestly, I am too. Like I have a lot of hours in World v World,
Yeah,
right?
but
But
I'm
I
more
don't.
casual than you. We've
You
established
are, yeah.
this.
But like, I don't play like World v World proper. I don't play it on voice comms with a guild or in a Zerg or anything like that. So I really don't know much more about it than you do at the end of the day, because I just go by myself in there. Like I don't learn anything, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So and they said Swiss tournament support is the next major feature the SPVP team is working on. This feature will be utilized by our structured tournaments moving forward. And I
According,
remember them vaguely using the Swiss model several years ago,
so they use
which,
a lim. They use this is what I understand from the PvP lords who come into my Twitch chat. Right, I don't know anything about PvP, but apparently they use single elimination tournaments right now,
yes,
and I don't know what a Swiss tournament is, but apparently it's better. So PvP lords are gonna like this.
they used, if I remember correctly, and I could be completely wrong, when they had World versus World tournaments way back. Remember when this was a thing?
Yeah.
That was under a Swiss model, which was supposed to be like
All I know is
best of X matches get you X things. I think.
all I know is that we won our bracket,
Yeah.
but I didn't really see. Like I don't know like tournament people are probably like, Billy, you don't even know what a Swiss tournament is. I don't know like
No, I
tournament
don't, and
structures.
I
I'm
will
not a
be completely
competitive gamer.
honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not a competitive gamer. I don't really know what that means, but I've heard several PvPers say that they would much prefer Swiss tournaments than single elimination. So apparently, this will make the PvP community happy, and they whine a lot. So this is a good idea.
We've just alienated PvP players everywhere.
Good.
I'm sorry.
I'm so tired of PvPers and WWers. I'm tired of both of you.
Oh God.
Also, those are both good game modes.
All right. So, well, yeah, if it's something that people are looking forward to and it's a tournament style that people like, that's gonna revitalize the modes, then hey, I say that's all great.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the player base is going to like it. So, and WW at the same time, they're going to like the world restructuring. So, do both of those
Yeah. So the last
until
section,
they do them wrong, and
right?
everybody hates it, right?
The last section in Z's post is the further down the road, in which he puts in another bolded disclaimer. None of these have been fully designed and are even more subject to change or being shelved. So anything on this list is it could be just shoved off the table completely. So don't put all of your eggs into this basket. So the 500 update to jewelry crafting would be one. Changing matches so that scoring matters in 8-hour intervals in WW. So to help the whole
Essentially,
off peak hours thing, like people in the WW guild that I'm in were like, oh, that would be really good. Um, but it's even more theoretical, I think, is the point.
I okay. So I don't know a whole ton about how World v World scoring works. I know that when you win a skirmish, you get skirmishes are won by war score,
Yeah.
and when you win a skirmish, you get a victory point, and victory points are what determines the match winner. War score does not. Um, Total victory points determine. So you could have more war score if you won a bunch of skirmishes by a super high amount, but if the other server has a more active night shift, they'll get all those victory points during the night, and they'll end up winning the world v world matchup because of victory points.
Right.
So theoretically, if you have less victory points to obtain, the more consistent server. I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure. I'm like trying to figure it out as I talk about it.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is better. Apparently, this is. I tried. I tried, guys.
I think the fact that they're even trying to think about how to address off peak play,
Mhm.
so it doesn't just invalidate the peak play is a good thing.
Yeah.
Um, and I would hope that it wouldn't be shelved, to be honest, because I think that being able to make that gameplay that you just spent hours on matter um, would make a lot of people happy.
Yeah.
And would, I think, incentivize even off-peak players to say, okay, well, we have reason to continue this or not let us get rolled over.
Well, because with the 8 hour scoring, I think the idea would be like it starts at the tail end of peak hours and ends midway through off peak. And then the next match starts during off peak and goes into on peak. So you wouldn't have any match fully within the realms of either, right? Which I think would even things out. Again, guys, this is way over my head.
Yeah,
So
it's very theoretical.
Dovey Dubbers, do you like this? Is this good? I haven't like asked anybody. Is this a good thing? I don't know.
Yeah, if we've got anyone in chat who likes this or who appreciates this game mode more than either of us, delve into it.
Chat does make a good point. People like Aaron rely on off hours to not get ganked every 5 minutes. This is
This is
absolutely
true.
true. This is
It's true.
absolutely true. The best times I have in World v World are at 2 in the morning when I can just do an endless loop of enemy borderlands and just keep capping the camps. And there's one enemy player on the other side of the map that's doing the loop right behind me.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
just trade off. That's
Yeah.
the best. I love that.
Yeah. I know. I was telling him before I think it was in the pre-show or before we went live, was that I got ganked in WW on my alt account because I don't have a War Claw on it yet. And so I was just trying to do a daily, land claimer. Woo! Just go cap a ruin. I can do that. And two dudes came by on a War Claw and just took me out. And I was like, seriously, guys? I'm by myself. I'm not in a Zerg. Go get your free loot somewhere else.
It's World v World. It's cutthroat.
Mm-hmm.
World v World is completely cutthroat.
So the last point that he brings up is the competitive team has been working on the idea of building a festival that highlights both PvP and WVW. It's a fun concept that would allow us to focus on those game types and try new things. That seems very vague.
That's a neat. I mean, it's even like you just have to be like a Zacian festival, right? Like that's I think wasn't there a thing that was that in Guild Wars 1?
So.
Because I want to say there was. I could be wrong.
Zacian
but I believe
talking while I Google.
Yeah, I believe we have a premise for this already because you have the Zacian Order that runs the Battle Isles, right? And that's where all the PvP happened in Guild Wars 1, and they're like acolytes of Balthazar, right? And then you've got Zafira, who is a former Zacian, I want to say. Mm-hmm. And like all the pieces are already coming together. Guys, just make a Zacian festival. You got your PvP and World v World thing together right there. I solved it. ArenaNet, I solved it. Check in the mail. Easy.
Yeah. I'm not finding anything about a festival, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, who knows?
The wrong wiki. Hang on a second.
Who knows?
But yeah, so I think the idea is interesting. They've got Zacian challenges, which were basically bounties.
Mm-hmm. Ah, yes, the Zacian challenges. Guild Wars, guys, for those of you who didn't play Guild Wars 1, sorry for the Guild. I know Guild Wars 2 only players hate it when people reminisce about Guild Wars 1.
Dude,
but
there are many of us. Please indulge us for a moment.
Guild Wars 1 had good dailies, guys. Yep. Guild Wars 1 had really good dailies. Like, much better than Guild Wars 2's will ever be. Like, I just want to throw that out there. I love doing dailies in Guild Wars 1. It was like my whole gameplay loop. And I hate doing dailies as my gameplay loop in Guild Wars 2. I talk about how much I hate it, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Guild Wars 1, the dailies were so awesome. It was like all I did near the end of the game, right? So if you ever want a game with good dailies, guys, go check out Guild Wars 1. Chat, Aaron praising dailies. Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right?
So the table on the Guild Wars 1 wiki, Camp New Year, Lucky Treats Week, April Fool's Day, Sweet Treats Week. That was when you get the chocolate bunny and the golden eggs. That's probably coming up because it's for Easter.
Mm-hmm.
The anniversary celebration, that was on Xingje. The Dragon Festival, Winter's Day in July. That one was always good. Wayfarer's Reverie. That was right before Guild Wars 2 release.
That's the Guild Wars 2 festival in Guild Wars 1.
Pirate Week, which was always fun. Yar.
We don't do that in Guild Wars 2.
We don't, and it would be good. I don't know why. Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Halloween special treats week, which was when you get the pumpkin pie, is usually around Thanksgiving,
Thanksgiving, yeah.
and then Winter's Day,
American Thanksgiving.
American Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess they didn't have a PvP festival, but yeah, there's like the lore around the Zacian order that follows Balthazar's that they ran the PvP stuff. So
Yeah.
that's a tie-in for your festival.
Then
Pretty
they had special occasion events. One on this list makes me sad. It was the day of the Tengu. That was right before Factions release. The Nightfall of Guild Wars Nightfall PvP preview event. So maybe that's what you're thinking of. That was before Nightfall came in. Eye of the North for the holidays, and then a farewell to Gale.
I remember that one.
She stopped being the community manager.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
I like how she.
Back,
I was gonna say, yeah, she stopped being community manager and then she started again, only to Wow, that's a unpleasant story. Jesus.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'd be down for a PvP festival. I probably won't play PvP. I already have everything I could ever want. Like, I got my 3 legendary armor pieces. I got my Ascension.
You did. That's right. You got Ascension too.
Yeah, I don't need anything more out of PvP. Like, unless they put another legendary in or something like that, I have no reason to play it. So I don't see myself really going back in.
You have to incentivize somebody like Aaron to go back in.
Yeah. And AP won't do it either because you'll have your festival meta that you got to fill out, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not an AP guy, so probably not going to happen.
So that's the roadmap.
Yep. It's pretty good stuff, I think.
I like that he ends with this whole thing. This is a departure from how we've been communicated for a while. Yes, it has, and we welcome it. I think that they got burned on communicating things early, but I think if they're honest and putting in these disclaimers, like Z's been doing, I think it's helpful. The players, I think, overall will be okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you're always gonna get the trolley players who are gonna be like, "Oh, you guys said this and you didn't do it, and it's right here," and you know.
No, they've been more than. Yeah, their disclaimers are more than good enough in this post for all of these to be subject to change. I'm excited about just the idea, right? Yeah. I'm excited about just the idea. Just dreading legendary runes and sigils. That's pretty much it.
The one thing that I was happy to hear when he talked about content teams are thinking about how they can make kind of giving them more flexibility, expanding the boundaries of an existing map and the content of an existing map. Yes, if you also then expand the rewards that come out of those maps, I think that would be amazing, because there are maps, living world maps, I'm looking at you, that they have maybe 1 or 2 reasons for players to be there, and after they get those things, no one goes back. And you go back to these maps that they put in a lot of time and effort into, and they're just not played. And then
when people, here's the crazy thing though, and then when people do go back to those maps because it's a really good farm, they actually nerf the farm so that you don't go back to the map anymore.
Right, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But even things like we were talking about earlier with like Draconis mods and the Aurora collection, giving people reason to be in that map other than Aurora or Wayfarer's Henge, that will make people play the meta events again, so that people who are wanting to collect those early things have an easier time of it because there's players around to play with them.
Well, and their solution now is to be like, oh, well, let's put a tacky meta in every map and let's make volatile magic really good for getting tier 6 materials so that people have to run a daily train of all the maps every day. Poof, now we have players in all the maps.
Right, and
it's like, yeah, that does technically work, but
I think long term though, it's not a good solution.
It's just that I like to stand. That's really my whole argument is I like to stand, and they took it away.
They took away your stand. They didn't really take it away. They just adjusted the reward structure.
Adjusting is putting it very mildly. Yeah. That's like saying you adjusted someone's anatomy when you chopped off their head.
That's not where I thought that sentence was going, but I appreciate that you ended it that way.
Like
Yeah.
it was a brutal execution of his stand.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else on the roadmap that you wanted to say you're happy? We've
I'm
talked about
just
the roadmap for an hour. Wow, what the heck?
yeah,
I didn't
no,
think that that was going to be so long.
I mean, chat summed it up pretty nicely for me. Well, more content coming out for Guild Wars 2. Guess I better delete my account, Aaron 2019. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. Yep. I like it.
The hyperbole is real. He's not going to delete his account.
I may.
You're not going to do it. No, you're not. Stop. No one believes you.
Yeah, I've put too many hours into it.
I know. All right. So, Sab is back. Suppose Super Adventure Box.
How much of it did you play? Me too. Yeah,
Yeah.
0.
I mean, I see all my raiders going in there and spending hours in there, and I'm happy that they're having fun in it. I have no desire to play Super Adventure Box.
You
It
have to
makes me
scrape.
motion sick.
You have to scrape the bottom of the barrel to get those achievement points, so you can't. So people won't think you're a nub anymore.
That's okay. I'm
Yeah.
happy. I'm just below 16.5K achievement points, and I probably would have pushed for them more, but it's okay. I raid a lot. It's fine. I'll
Miko,
do dailies.
we are
Okay.
six, we are 6 years into this game. The threshold for not being a nub is officially 20k AP now.
Oh
All
well.
right. It
I'm a veteran since
last
betas.
year last year it was 16.5, right? It
That's
is
fine.
officially bumped up to 20.
I will
Okay.
be the nubbling. Hi.
I don't know where I got those numbers from, but
You totally pulled them out
they
of your butt.
sounded
It's
funny.
fine.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
sounded amusing.
Yeah. It's good. But what new rewards have they got in with the Super Adventure?
You can get a boombox. I think it
I
plays
saw
Super
that Age
Adventure
got that the other day
sense. Yeah.
after
Said it took them
spending
like 3 hours.
hours.
Yeah, 3 hours or something. Someone in chat saying they did 10 hours straight. Jesus.
10
Um,
hours straight, like no breaks at all?
yeah, that
Oof.
sounds
Oof.
wild.
Oof. No, I can't. That's like, that would make my eyes glaze over. On top of the motion sickness from the jumping.
Well, and I thought the chair was.
The
We'll
chair.
talk more about the chair later. I thought the chair was a reward, but it's not. It's just a gem store. You just buy it, so that's sucks. Um, but there's races in
Yeah.
SAB now.
And
At first, I
that's
thought they were.
in the lobby. Is it in the lobby of
I,
the PvP lobby? In the SAB lobby?
you know what? I would know if I'd played SAB,
Josh, you
but
tell
I
us you've been
haven't.
spending time
Yeah,
in there. An
yeah.
hour
Chat.
break to
What's
eat? That's good. I'm glad that you decided to fuel yourself. Yes, it's in the
SAB
SAB
lobby?
lobby.
Okay,
Okay.
gotcha. Are those mount races?
Yeah, they would be mountain races. They're trying to
Okay,
incentivize people to
because they
do
just
more.
called them races. Nobody said like none of the posts I read said mount.
And
I was like,
adventures are in each zone. Oof. Right there, the A word.
oh, yes, adventures.
Another sure way not to get me to play.
I don't hate as I used to rant about adventures.
Oh,
Like
I
I don't
know.
hate adventures as much as I used to, mainly because I'm done with all of them now. Like once you finish them,
I've done some of them. I'm not gonna lie. There are some that aren't bad, but
you're just like, well, that's behind me. But man, when they're hanging over your head, it sucks.
well, remember that they were put in. They would gate mastery points behind them, and
Yeah,
they gated collections, specialization collections for them on HOT.
that's why I didn't have max mastery for a long time because I refused to do adventures, but
Yeah,
they're the best way to get mastery points. Like if you want to max your masteries out fast,
yeah.
don't skimp on adventures because it's so fast to just hit silver on all of them.
Hmm.
It's the best way.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah, I
mentioned
didn't
them
play
saying,
SAV. I'm not going to. It's
um,
cool. It's not bad. It's just I'm not going to play it.
yeah. I do. Well, we'll talk about the chair later, so we'll go on. We'll move on. So SAB is out there. New skin rewards. What did they do for new skins? Because I haven't seen anything about new skins that I've been paying attention to.
I
Or hit
don't
on.
know what the new skins are, but I have heard that there are new skins in SAB.
Oh, I know what they are. There weren't they like the new weapons that you could get for while you play the game?
Yes. I don't know if they're a full set. and I don't know what the color would be.
No, I think they're just like a stick, a thing,
Okay.
and another thing.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like I looked around for the SAB updates, but I really couldn't find a whole lot of information on them apart from like people talking about them.
Yeah, I don't think they added in. I was expecting them to add in.
Chat saying they're yellow. I thought we already
I thought
had
we already
yellow.
had yellow.
I
We had
lose track. I
red.
lost
We
track.
had the
Yeah,
blue. All right,
because blue
yellow.
is first, then I think green, and then red, and then orange. And I swear we had yellow, but maybe not.
Would you biv? Were we up to yellow? I thought we had yellow, but all right.
Chat's now chess or orange. Okay, nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's fine.
It's all right, guys. We're sorry that we're not better informed on this.
I know, like, yeah, it's like one of the things that we're just like, I didn't play that.
I would have loved. I would have loved to come in and say, "Oh my gosh, SAB amazing," but no.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be dishonest and tell you guys that I love SAB because I don't. It's all
Hmm.
right.
I don't have anything against it. It's just
No, it's just not my thing. It's not my jam.
it's not my type of thing.
Um, all right. So we talked about the SAB. If you are going to be continuing this, the festival is going on for the rest of the month, so you have plenty of time to go in there and make yourself um, 8-bit
12 days.
8-bit crazy.
12 days, everybody.
Yep. April 18th is what you've got here.
Hmm.
All right. The Welcome Back to GW2 campaign, which we mentioned earlier, is going on. And they are giving away some free stuff in the gem store apart from the episodes. If you haven't bought the episodes and you lacked them because you didn't unlock them when they were live, you can do so during this campaign. So episodes 1 and 2, well, episode 1 was available for free last week for unlocking. Episode 2 is currently going on. Episode 3 will come in probably Monday, I think, or Tuesday. So you should, if you don't have 2 unlocked already, make sure that he's going to be right back. Make sure that you unlock that. The devs have been going through and playing episodes. I've caught a couple of those streams. And they've been fun to see the devs going through and playing those stories. There are things that I hadn't remembered. I watched it wasn't the Daybreak, it was the Bug in the System stream that Ruby and Clay did earlier this week, which was fun, or last week I think it was. It was fun to just kind of see them going through that again. I was amused. I'm amused easily at work sometimes by some of the things that the community puts out, but the community was kind of losing its mind because Ruby was on a staff LA, and they were like, "Switch to daggers, more burning." I was like, "Guys, let her play the way she wants."
I can't watch devs play their own games. I don't know what it is.
I find it fun.
I can't do
They've
it.
had a couple of streams where they've gone in as a raid squad to try and do new wings or old wings or whatever, and just to see them not always. I don't know what gear they're running or whatever, but they have fun, which is the
Well,
important
it's
thing.
because like just because you make the game doesn't mean you're particularly rock star at it, right? Because
Right,
they
exactly.
make these games to work. That's the primary function of them, is to make it work.
Yeah. Doesn't mean
Which
that they're going to
doesn't
be expert at the game, which is fine.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
So, but it is
it's
fun to
the
see them play. I
yeah. I'm sure it's
enjoy
entertaining.
it.
I'm sure
Yeah.
it's entertaining.
Yeah. Um, all right. So the other thing is PvP season 16 is here. It arrived this week. It's going to last until May 27th. And the question that you've got here is, will the recent balance patch incentivize more play?
Yeah, so there was a balance patch. What we talked about it
March
like 2
5th.
or 3. Yeah, March
March
5th.
5th.
So a little, like exactly a month ago. Theoretically, that should be like, because that should be the shakeup for the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
And chat's saying no. Yeah, it's not going to get me playing. They did nerf Mirage a little bit. Mirage is still going to be a pain in the ass, right? It's still very good, but it got nerfed a little bit. I don't really know where anything else is sitting right now. but the meta isn't that much different from what it was before. I don't think. Actually, the bigger nerf was probably Deadeye. Deadeye got hit pretty hard.
Kind of
Um,
needed it.
yeah, so I don't know how much different the meta is from when I was playing like a couple seasons ago, but
Are
um,
you gonna play?
no,
I mean, I know you've already gotten your ascension,
yeah.
and
I won't say no. Like if I'm like firing up my stream room night and I'm like, wow, boy, do I not want to do Silver Race tonight. Then yeah, I might hop into PvP for like an evening, but I'm not gonna play for like rank progression. Like I'm not gonna be all right, guys. It's platinum one or die this season, right? I'm not gonna do that.
mm,
I might play a night here or there just for fun with some crappy build that I invented, but the balance patch wasn't enough of a shakeup to really get me motivated to progress in the game mode
fair enough.
and actively play for the season.
Mm,
Probably just going to sit at bronze for the whole thing. Might do placement matches just to see where I place. That's always entertaining.
yeah.
Guys, do your placement matches. That can be fun. But once you placed, then it's boring again. It's just fun to see. Like
This is
it's
the
like when you click on like when you click on like which Harry Potter character are you, right?
yeah.
It's the same deal. You just want to see where you place.
Where's the sorting hat gonna put you in PvP?
Exactly.
This is the casual PvP goal. Sorting hat, place me in Hufflepuff. Said no one ever. Okay. So yeah, they had talked about new rewards coming in. They were gonna pick people's brains. I didn't see.
It's just titles, I think.
Yeah, titles.
I don't think they're coming in with this season. I think it's not going to be till a later season down the line that those because they were only posting about that like a couple weeks ago. I think I don't know if there's time to implement it for the new season.
Yeah, I didn't see much on their news cycle. It was get ready
Yeah,
to enter the mists. New season coming, and no details at all.
yeah, they don't really
What
give
it could.
PvP the time of day.
No, it's
But
kind of
yeah,
sad.
I don't think those are. I don't think they're in yet. Somebody who actually plays the game mode could correct me, but I don't think they are. I haven't heard anything about them being live, so that's probably not a thing.
I'm just gonna check the forums really quick.
Chat
If I
saying
missed,
PvP is mean. Yeah, a little bit.
it's competitive, right?
I mean, it's no, it's a not a fun environment to subside in. Um, when I was playing it a lot for Ascension,
Did it trigger you?
yeah, it really rubbed off on me. Like I felt myself becoming more just like
Toxic?
unhappy. Yeah, just unhappy, lashing out at like other people I was playing with just because they're doing the same thing to you, and it is just a cycle, and it rubs off on everyone. It's just unpleasant.
It's like watching LOL or
Yeah,
going
it's
into
not
certain
as
things in League of Legends. You see the
yeah,
toxicity, and it's like
it's certainly not the level of League of Legends, but
no, but
like
it's not good.
if you look at my Twitter history from like December through the end of January, you see some pretty wild flaming PMs that I received.
That's not fun.
No, yeah, no. Like if someone perceives that you are the reason why they lost the
They
PvP
lost the
match,
match.
whew, they'll lay into you. They will lay into you.
Wow.
So especially if you're not playing a meta build, if you go into ranked PvP and you are not playing a meta build, they will not be kind to you.
Putting
You
it
could
mildly.
be the best player in the match. You could carry the match, and they will still blame you for anything that goes wrong. Even if you win, they'll still at the end they'll
So the
still be
real
like this.
so they're
Yeah,
the real toxic elitists.
yeah. It doesn't like if you're and it's like magic, right? So I have an engineer build that I play that is not functional past gold 2. Like you cannot win matches with it past gold 2. Basically, once you hit people who know what they're doing, it falls apart,
Right.
right? But I'll be in gold 1, gold 2 shredding people with this build and carrying matches here and there. And still at the end of the match you'll have people be like this freaking guy, right?
That's
I
that's
can
the nice paraphrase.
I can grab a meta build, throw it on my character, go into the game, play like crap and lose, I won't hear a word from anybody.
Yeah.
Because I was playing the right build, even though I was actively terrible and probably carried most of the loss on my shoulders.
Right.
Nobody will say anything because they'll assume that I was doing what I was supposed to be just because I have the right profession icon next to my name.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Guild Wars 2 PvP, guys. And it, like late Platinum Legendary, you'll see people can perceive so much more about the game. So, like, their commentary of what's happening becomes actually more valuable if they're not win trading, obviously, right? Which is a huge issue.
Which we
But
talked about, yeah.
in that gold 3 to that gold 3 platinum 1 area is like awful to live in. It's awful. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to going back anytime soon.
Well, there you go. I won't be stepping into that toxic world. I'll just stay with my raiders.
Yeah.
And
In your
and
toxic
live
world. Gotcha.
in my own toxic happy world. We're not toxic, guys.
You're an oasis of calm and
I
passive
try to be.
in a desert
I
of
try to be.
toxicity.
There are things that will trigger me in raids. Don't get me wrong. But it's usually not from people who are trying to learn the mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So season 16 is here.
Play it if you want.
Play if you want. Go have fun.
Yep.
Another piece of item here. We've got a newsletter exclusive reward.
Yeah.
This requires you to go and log into your account on the ArenaNet website. So if you go to like guildwars2.com and you click in to try and log into like the forums or to your account there, and then you need to go into a new area for your email preferences. They've changed the way that they're doing their marketing, so you no longer have to do like a subscription, like confirm the subscription. You just do a little toggle on or off button in your email preferences. And if you do this, and if you're subscribed to their newsletters as of April 29th, you're going to receive a free exclusive glowing purple mask skin. So this is like the glowing red eyes, blue and green that we've got in the game now. The glints one. They're all
good skins.
They are, and they're all
skins.
gem store items.
Yeah, they're good skins. They're not as good. Like, so if you have a Sylvari character, right, you can match the mask to your skin color.
Yeah.
So the mask part doesn't show up and it just looks like you have glowy eyes.
Yeah.
If you do it on like a human, you have the stupid mask that's like this and it's kind of dumb. But so these are great Sylvari skins. Yeah.
I don't know. I've got the green ones on one of my characters, and she's human, and it doesn't look bad.
They've got a little. It's got a little bit of like this.
It must blend into
like,
her hair. Maybe that's why I
yeah,
don't see
like
it.
funk around the eyes on most of them. But if you can blend it with your Sylvari skin color.
Yeah.
In my case, skill color because I'm a blue guardian, right? But then it just looks like they have glowy eyes, and it's pretty cool. So if you got a purple Sylvari.
So yeah,
that's
so
the
you
one
have
for
purple. Very necessary for all of you people who play purples out there, aka mesmers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So log
It's
into
as
your
simple
account.
as signing up for the newsletter.
It is.
To do.
And please note that the confirmation to confirm your changes may not come through the same day. Their servers were getting hit pretty hard. So I got mine several days later on each of my accounts. But they did come through, and you can confirm them.
So you have this thing?
No, they're not going to be distributed until after April 29th.
Oh, okay, gotcha. You just get a confirmation then.
Yes. So they should show up in your in-game mail.
I know I'm going to forget. I haven't done it yet, and I know I'm going to forget, and I'm going to miss it.
Do it. I'm going to keep
and then I'm
you.
like somehow down the road, I don't know how this is going to happen, but somehow down the road, I'm going to end up with a Sylvari Mesmer that I'm going to want to have purple eyes, and I'm going to be like, crap. But we'll worry about that later.
I'll have to spam reminders to you. Go do your email preferences. Go do your email preferences.
Honestly, I wonder if it would work with my Asura, because she's purple, right? And she's got Aurora and like purple wet. Dude, it could actually work. I might need to go get it.
You should log in right now.
Yeah, she's super purple.
All right. So that is the in-game mail exclusive. ArenaNet has been at EGX Rezzed this week. If you haven't been following their Twitter account, and
If you haven't been following their massive retweet spam.
they've been doing gem giveaways on Twitter.
Their Twitter's been a mess all week. Oh my god.
They've been spamming. Well, they've been retweeting pictures of people on the Jackal mount, which is what they've done before when they've gone to conferences. Only this time they've decided to add some gem giveaways and add some, in my opinion, very spammy stretch goals to
They've
try
just
and get
been
you to retweet.
chain spamming their gem giveaways. Ugh,
Yeah.
so tired of it.
I was kind of surprised that they went after the Twitter gem giveaways so hard. It's a bit out of character for their marketing team.
Yeah,
Um,
they haven't.
I suppose this is an attempt to try and mesh in with the welcome to back to Guild Wars 2. Maybe, perhaps, I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
But it has felt a bit.
Oppressive.
Yeah, of course I've done it
Why?
because I want free gems. Because who doesn't want free gems?
Oh, I didn't do it.
Yeah, but it's RNG because it is a giveaway. But
Yeah, it's
there's
too
a chance
human.
that I might get it. I've retweeted and liked,
I
so I'm
can't.
sorry if you follow me and you got those, but I've tried not to overdo it.
I can't bring myself to do it. It's too humiliating for people to know that I retweeted that in a desperate attempt to win Guild Wars 2's Daddy Gems.
I don't care. I want
Have,
the daddy gems.
have you ever seen those Twitter accounts that claim to be a person that just has a lot of
Yes.
money and they'll give
The
out
sugar
money?
daddy accounts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I won't retweet those. It's too embarrassing.
All right.
Every time I see somebody who I follow that's retweeted one of those, I'm like, oh honey, they don't give anybody money.
He actually went, oh honey, guys. Okay. Oh, the one thing that I should have done and I didn't, because I'm just not that prepared. One of the things that came out of Guild Wars' appearance at Rezzed, they talked about character death because they like talking about how they've killed off Arene. So
Like I went on a
yeah,
whole rant
please.
about this last episode. Go
Yeah.
check it out.
So they released a teaser trailer, which you can watch on their social media and is also, I believe, now on their YouTube account.
Teaser is a great word. Trailer is a strong
It's
word.
a teaser. You can go watch it at their Twitter account.
Yeah.
And
Again, because I want to reiterate, you can watch it on their Twitter account because this is not on their website.
no, it's not. It's only on their social media, which is a little funny.
They didn't put their teaser on their own website.
No, they didn't. And
It bothers me
who
so
knows?
much.
Maybe next week they'll do something. I'm expecting that the actual trailer will get at the end of the month sometime, probably during current events. That's my expectation. Whether or not that matches what is happening because of their cadence due to their February restructuring, as they're calling it.
I just checked their YouTube channel. Their trailer is not on their YouTube channel either. This teaser is literally a Twitter embed.
It's a Facebook as well.
It's the only place you can find this.
I'm surprised.
Is freaking Twitter. They don't have it on their YouTube. Guild Wars 2, you guys messed up.
And who knows? They might roll it onto their YouTube account next week to then push it out again. Because why not?
I'm just saying, if you're going to have a video teaser, maybe put it on the biggest video sharing website that exists on the planet. I don't know. That's a wild theory of mine. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows, right?
Maybe you're wrong. But anyway, yeah, they don't have it on here. Oh, that makes me sad. Although they've got the welcome back playthroughs on here, so.
Well,
yeah,
and chat's saying it's not a trailer. Yeah, we already established that, but
it's a teaser.
For the sake of interchangeable dialogue, we might use the word trailer, right?
It's a teaser clip. If that makes you happier.
Yeah, it is a teaser.
It essentially functions as a teaser trailer for all of its little teaser 6 seconds or however long it lasts.
I think it's like 30 seconds.
I don't know. I'm making up a number.
Yeah. 6 just seemed a little harsh.
It's 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we get Kralkatoric, which some people have said is rigged onto a griffin model. Um, we get to see his head, and his long neck from the side. We don't get to see whether or not his eye is still gouged out from when we booped him. And we get the next title, War Eternal. And then it just says coming soon. So no release date announced.
There's a lot that's interesting about this. First of all, chat says, I mean, I know you're memeing, but new flying mount confirmed. The mount in this trailer is very clearly a griffin. Like, just to get that out of the way.
Yeah, the rigging. Okay.
It's not a new mount.
No.
People pointed out that the mount has horns. It's probably a new skin for the griffin. But if you look at the wings, the shape is exactly the same as the griffin. It's the right size. It's a griffin, guys.
I
So
think it's
that's
just
what
Kralkador
that
rigged
is.
onto the griffin rigging.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know what they do to make the Kralkatork model fly like that, but you know,
Put 'em
yeah,
in.
it's game development magic, right? It's fine.
It's a teaser to try and get you hyped.
All the trailer shows is Kralkatork flying. He's got some smoke coming off of him in like certain places, and the smoke trails are very small, and like it just seems like people are saying like, oh, what if those are weak spots or something like that? Because the smoke coming off of him does seem too strategically placed for it to just be aesthetic. So people are thinking that that's a gameplay element, and that we might be like climbing on Kralkatork as he's flying while we're like stabbing him or
they did
whatever.
talk about in one of the, I think it was the episode 5 guild chat, that they talked about that they had wanted players to be able to climb onto Kralk during that episode, during that final battle, and that they weren't able to do it. So if they're able to do it now, that would be kind of cool.
Make it, and I mean,
I want my Legolas moment.
Yeah, them having moving collidable objects has always been tough. Like
Yeah.
even at launch, you had the airships in the Zaitan instance, and those were buggy as all hell. So it's definitely something that's a challenge with the Guild Wars 2 engine in particular. So I don't know what we'll see there.
I
Right?
don't know either. Now, what intrigued me about this was that we know from the end of episode 5 that Kralkatork just kind of disappears. The implication was that he disappeared again into the mists, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Aaron? So,
it's entirely possible, but
if we have to go chase him into the mists, you know what happens in the mist, right? We get dead buddies.
yeah, my problem
right?
with this is that we've already done this
Yes,
season.
I agree. We've done this several times this season.
Yeah, it seems kind of rehashy.
But we did it also in Path of Fire, right? When we went into the mists to go find Cormyr. We went into
Sure,
the
but like
mists to go meet up with Glint.
we weren't actively like pursuing Kralkatork though. Like we literally were in, like I guess we were running away from Kralkatork.
We went in with Blish when we lost poor dear Blish.
Was that in the mist?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes, we had Glint and her Mist War army.
Oh no, that's the same instance that I'm talking about here. Yeah, I forgot that those were the same instance. I literally forgot.
We've been able to interact with Air and Snaff, who are very much dead because of rifts in the Chaos Rifts. So, and now we've got the adorable baby dragon that died. Presumably in the mists after going through some sort of ascension trial.
Chat is mentioning that it looked like there were boulders flying at him. I didn't see that. I watched it a handful of times. I didn't see that. So I'd have to watch it again. But they bring up that maybe we're firing like siege stuff at him. Look, every time there's a big bad, we've always got siege, right? Like every time there's a storyline of like, oh, we need to get the Asura together so they can build their laser. Or like with the last episode, we got to get the dredge so they can build.
He's obviously flying through a branded cloud that he's probably generating himself.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is a lot of people were like, "Oh, this looks like."
And that smoke trail that's coming out through the eye, because I keep looping it now. It looks like it's coming from the eye that we stabbed out.
If you look at the wings, there's more of them coming off the wings when it shows them from behind. You can see them coming off the wings as well. Definitely one coming off the eye, though, which is what makes people think it could be weak spots. I think Wooden Potatoes talked about this in his video.
Yeah, which I didn't watch, amazingly.
I didn't watch it either, but I heard people say he did, so what are you going to do, right? But yeah, so that's why people are thinking these are weak spots, because he's very clearly got the smoke coming out of his eye,
Yeah.
and then there's more on the wings, right?
Yeah.
But I hesitate to think whether this is the mist or not, because that big purple cloud around him, that's just him. Like,
Yeah.
it's established that Kralkatorrik flies inside of a brandstorm. You can't actually see Kralkatorrik overhead because he is just a storm, right? There's a dragon in there, but his very presence acclimates a storm
I
around.
think the title being War Eternal, the eternal war in the mists, which you hear the NPCs that try to get you into WW or into any of the
Well, and
mist
obviously
ones.
what this means is the game is going full WW and PvE is disappearing completely.
I wouldn't go jump to that logic. I was making the jump that we're going into the mists again, probably because of the whole War Eternal. I don't know where you got that from, brother.
I don't know if you remember the plot of the Fisher of Woe from Guild Wars 1.
Remind me, because it's been a while.
This is why this title is so interesting. The title is much more interesting than the actual teaser, in my opinion.
I agree.
But the plot of the Fisher of Woe elite endgame instance in Guild Wars 1 is Balthazar and his Eternals. That's what they're called. They're called Eternals. His army fighting against Mingus. It is pronounced Mingus. They already went over this on Mad Realms' show.
Oh, right. Menzies? That it's
Mingus? Yeah, it's spelled Menzies. It's pronounced Mingus. Let's not get into it. But that they, who is Balthazar's half brother, and they fight an eternal war in the Fisher of Woe. It never ends. That's just what the existence in that realm is, and that's technically Balthazar's god realm, right? Like Cormyr has her library. It used to be the realm of torment. Grenth has the underworld. Balthazar has the Fisher of Woe. Balthazar is dead.
He is.
Yeah, but Balthazar. Well, and
where is he? Is he in the mists again, being dead as an echo of himself?
God knows. Let's not get into like the weird MacGuffins they could try to. Like, because you can. Here's the thing about Guild Wars 2. You can speculate what makes sense all you want, but at the end of the day, they'll write in whatever they want. They'll invent whatever they have to invent. They'll pull on whatever old weird story they have to pull on to make things go the way they want.
So your connection then with the Fissure of Woe and the Eternals and everything, it ties back to Ascension, right? Because people needed to be ascended in order to get into the Fissure of Woe. I'm looking at the wiki, so yes.
Yeah, you're correct. The reason I forgot about that is because in Guild Wars 1, you could go get ascended in like the Crystal Desert the proper way.
Yeah.
Or you could just do a really easy quest in factions and then you were ascended. That's what I would always do, right? So I forgot that was a requirement, but yeah, it was. Entirely possible, but I don't think, I think they're shying away from that concept. But we did have that whole ceremony with Aurene.
We did, and I don't think that was an accident.
I mean, she's dead, though, isn't she?
But she's an ascended dragon now, because she's gone through it. So what does that actually mean?
There's a lot of different stuff you could get out of this title. Honestly, do I think we're going to the Fisher of Woe? No, I don't. I think it's... I don't know what the tie-in's going to be, but the title definitely is more than just words, right?
Yes, I don't think that it's accidental at all.
The
titles have been quite
poignant.
Poignant. That is the good word.
Yeah. And so that's why I'm like, is this about Balthazar? Like, is it? Because Balthazar has been a major player, right? So there could still be fallout from his.
And we know from Cormyr that there are still 6 gods. I mean, Atmide says in chat, when Abaddon died, Cormyr rose, Balth's magic went to Kralk, so when we kill Kralk, new war god. I think we already have a war god, we just don't know who it is.
Ritlock Brimstone, sorry.
To go along with Casimir as the new Cormyr.
Yeah. I was watching Mad Realm's show Talking Squid earlier today. And what they were talking about was how I think it's canonical that Balthazar was officially stripped by the other gods of
Yes.
his
Or
magic,
that
and
title.
he regains a portion of it, but he's not technically a god, I don't
Correct.
think. He's very powerful, he's an exceptionally
Right.
powerful being.
But he's not technically a god when we fight him.
He's not a part of the pantheon,
Correct.
is the idea. So what does that mean when you kill him? Does it mean the same thing as when we killed Abaddon, who was also technically not a part of the pantheon, yet Cormyr ascended to godhood anyway? So there's a whole like up in the air, what does that mean? Right. Also, his power went to both Kraukatork and Aurene, right?
Yes.
So Aurene died already. Maybe we're the new god of war. Who knows? But
We
like,
keep starting wars, so hey.
but yeah, like,
We
or
keep
maybe
killing
Kraukatork
dragons.
just absorbed the rest of the power when he killed Aurene, right? Who knows? A lot of it's up in the air. Again, it comes down to ArenaNet's MacGuffin writing style, right? They'll just make that magic go wherever it needs to go for their story to go the way they want it to. But yeah, I would love to. I would, and then there's the whole thing of Zafira, right? Like she's there. She's
She's
a
there.
Balthazar acolyte.
Yep.
Like, so we've got all this Balthazar stuff marinating around. We got Sohothan back in the picture. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
all this fun stuff. We've got the
And
title War Eternal.
yes. Now, here's another thing that we haven't talked about. Remember those stories that they said that they were going to be putting out onto the website? That we
Yeah,
got
that we
the
didn't
whole
see
Ritlock
anymore.
story,
But
and we haven't seen Zafira's, and we haven't seen Case yet, and yet
Mhm.
it seemed like we were going to be getting all of those before episode 6, because it would make sense.
How many weeks is it? We got that in February,
I
right?
don't remember
So
when it's been a while.
it has been a long
I mean, I
time.
know that February was a bad month for them, and they, had
It
crap
was.
happen and hit at them. But it's like, what happened to those other 2 stories?
Well, and if they let go key players in the writing of those stories, sure, you could have them be finished by other people. But maybe they don't want to do that because of the lack of cohesiveness.
I don't know.
So, in light of those layoffs, the stories could be canceled altogether. They haven't said anything.
They
It's pure
haven't said
speculation
anything.
on my
Yeah.
part.
I mean, they had that nice
But
release page made for it with the
it's
shadow
entirely
images.
possible. It's entirely possible, you know. Chat makes a good point. The player character's life is war eternal. That's true.
Yes.
We're a mess.
All we do is kill dragons, and this time we killed our own.
Mhm. Chad also saying they really enjoyed the Ritlock one. Yeah, I enjoyed having more reason to not like Ritlock because I already don't like Ritlock, and I enjoyed ArenaNet affirming my decision that was the right choice because he's terrible. So I enjoyed it as well.
I enjoyed getting the backstory on him. We've already been through this.
Oh yeah, the
But
backstory on Sohothan was cool. Yeah,
the backstory on Ritlock just being this kind of
Mhm.
emo guy,
Yeah,
emo char, and
Mhm.
that he's got kids
Mhm.
or cubs, I should say. That
Yeah.
we may meet in future.
in the Furor.
In the
How are you supposed to
Farrar.
say that?
Ritlock's awesome. I like Ritlock.
I
It's okay.
I
It's okay. You don't have to agree with Aaron. You could agree with me sometimes. It's okay. All right. So yeah, I'm sure we're gonna be speculating more once we actually get the real trailer.
yeah.
But it is fun to think. Well, one, we know it's coming. We knew it was coming, but hopefully it's coming soon.
There's
As
just
the
there's just
teaser said.
simply yeah, there's just simply a host of possibilities, but I'm more curious about what the title means. That's what I'm
Yes.
most curious about
Yeah.
in this. The title's fascinating.
I'll be interested to see if the actual trailer showcases or previews anything, because their trailers lately have played things a bit close to the vest.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we may get nothing, and then we may have our lives shocked.
I do like Chat's point that the player character's life is an eternal conflict. I
Isn't that
think
what
that
Joko said?
yeah, that's what Joko said. Yeah, and it's kind of something we've been ever since. If anybody played Winds of Change and Guilders One, still the best thing ever in the whole franchise.
I haven't
But
played it.
it's a concept they've been hammering home since Winds of Change, Guilders One. But I think it's also more than that. I think the title is actually going to play directly into lore elements in the episode. So
I would welcome
I'm
that.
super curious.
Yeah. All right. So we've got our gem store items that have come out in the past couple of weeks. We had the Legion Jetpack Glider, Backpack Glider pack, 700 gems. You get a jetpack on your back.
It doesn't look very good.
It's very char, I think, in that it's got that kind of metal
If
looky.
I wanted a jetpack, I would get the molten one instead.
The
I
molten
don't
one
think
is
I would
pretty
get
cool.
this one. Yeah, I think the molten one's cooler. This one gives you like these little chicken wings with like a jetpack in it, and I'm not into it.
Chicken wings.
Yeah, I mean it's not like they're not like wings, but they're like these little flaps with the jetpack coming out of it, right? I don't think it's very aesthetically pleasing.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay. Well, anyway, if you like it, I didn't see that in the preview because I did preview it, but I didn't actually pay attention to that. But it is in the gem store for 700 gems, and there's also the SAB chair, which puts you in a tube of light with
Hmm.
8-bit stuff all around you, and it
Cartoon.
plays the SAB theme song when you take it out and equip it
Hmm.
and sit on it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool actually. It's a pretty well designed chair. It kind of puts you in your little pocket SAB space.
Yeah, and
It's pretty neat.
you've got that it's here for 700 gems. I thought it was 600, but I could be wrong.
They're both 700s, I want to say. I think that's I pulled that info from Dolphy's
Yeah,
website.
Dolphy. Yeah,
But yeah, no, the SAB chair is a good chair. It's a gem store chair, so I won't get it, right? I prefer the in-game chairs.
it's very cool.
But
And
yeah,
I
it's
haven't
cool.
gotten it only because I'm trying not to convert gems or
Chat
gold.
says it is 600. Okay, it's 600. That was
Okay.
my bad on the notes. That's 600.
She's got both. She's got 700 gems in her headings, and then on the YouTube video, she's got 600 gems. Dolphy
Gotcha.
does. Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's right the other 99.8% of the time, so that's
Yeah.
fine. Chat making the point that you can use this underwater. That is interesting. I
What?
did not know that.
I didn't know that.
That
Is
is
that
fast.
because you're in a tube?
I,
No, wait a
I
minute. What does that mean? Chairs underwater. Dude, why are they
does
throwing
that does
weird
that
tech
mean,
at? Is that a
does that
bug or
mean
is that a future thing that we're getting and we're not savvy enough to realize that they're testing something? Things
yeah,
like this always
it
make me
could be.
suspicious.
Yeah, the upcoming underwater expansion. Yeah, I forgot. You're absolutely right.
Steve McBubbles, we gotta go after him.
Yeah, what are they going to do about that mess? It's not something to get into now, but just what a mess. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you're right. That could be pointing to further underwater development,
They
right?
they they do sneaky things, and then you kind of, if you're not paying attention, they're testing things out, and then it's only later that you go, oh, well, I see where they were going with
Hmm.
this.
Yeah.
All right, other things. Community events. Snow Crows had their monthly competition results for March came out. QT, which um,
Big surprise.
big surprise that they competed, um, because they were the benchmarking meta guild that used to put all of the builds out for the raiding community. They've won the viability comp for March
I was gonna say, it'd be kind of
in the
weird if
fastest
the
kill.
benchmark guild didn't win. Like that would be
I
weird.
know. Well, the what surprised many people, I think, was that they got the old crew back together to do this, and
Mhm.
they theory crafted for like 10 hours, is what they said, and then they
Wow.
did it over like 3 days. They just kept doing pulls, and they got their kill. It's a record kill right now. Still, it's the fastest kill on Slothosaur in 2 minutes, 2 minutes 22 seconds, I want to say.
Wow.
Most of the other groups that took part had the kill in around 3 to 4 minutes, which is where we were. We were in about three something.
That's pretty good
It
though,
wasn't
right? Like
bad. It
that's
was we were excited. We got a good kill for. I mean, we beat our own time, um, so we were happy, but we didn't win.
I
But that
mean,
was
if I'm
okay. It was
doing a
just
raid,
fun.
I'm just happy to get it done before Enrage. Like I don't know what the times are on the bosses, so I have no idea.
Yeah, they're usually like around 8 or between 8 and 10 minutes before
Hmm.
Enrage. Um, but yeah, so it was fun. It was a fun competition. The new one is out for April, um, and it's going until April 27th. The competition has, because what they do is they do like a roulette draw for classes and boss. So the boss is Cairn on challenge mode, which means that you've got to spam your special action key that helps teleport you across the things. I don't know if you did this because you were dead when you got carried through.
I was, yeah.
um,
Probably because I didn't hit the special action key.
it's possible. So you probably missed a green. But yeah, so you just have to continually hit it. Otherwise, the game will teleport you anywhere on the arena, including off of the edge, which is always a bit amusing. So the competition is going right now. There are several teams participating. The rewards for it are uh do do hang on, I'll tell you
I
right
think I
now.
saw 4,000 gems mentioned.
Yeah, they are. ArenaNet is going to be matching if they get like 8 teams.
I was gonna say for a non-sponsored, like if they're matching, that's cool. But like for a non-sponsored reward, 4,000 gems is pretty hefty. I thought.
So what ArenaNet is doing now, and they are going to be contributing 2,000 gems per player on the winning team,
Ooh.
which is nice. 800 for the second place team per player, and then 400 per player in the third place team. And I don't know that Target has updated the Reddit post that says this, but he did announce this on the SC Discord. So it incentivizes some people to play and
Yeah.
take part. That I'm happy to see that ArenaNet is going to be behind this, because they had about 13 groups enter last time. So for them to say, well, if you get 8, we'll do this, it pretty much guarantees that they're going to do this.
You said something funny. It's just funny to me that those large gem pools, they can incentivize people to play, but I guarantee you none of the people that win care about the 4,000 gems.
I mean, I wouldn't lie. I would like them because I might convert
Right?
them to gold after I
But do you
finish my
think
legendary army.
do you think the guys from QT care about 4,000 gems? I don't.
I don't.
I think they wanted to win the raid tournament,
Sure.
right? It's just funny that all the people who play with that in mind aren't going to get it.
Yeah.
And all of the people who play just because they love playing are the ones who are
Yeah.
going to get it.
Yeah.
That's funny to me.
And how these tournaments have worked in the past is that they've crowdsourced the rewards
Mhm.
for the prize pool.
Yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
how Mighty Teapot always does it.
Mhm.
And that's basically what Snowcores has been doing. They've been taking their monthly donations and having it and saying, okay, we're going to use half of this towards, gems to reward the winning teams.
Yeah, I think that
So,
makes sense.
yeah. So, Cairn CM is the next one. April 27th is when submissions need to be turned in. There is a Reddit post. You need to submit your entries, a recording of it, of the kill, and a log over to Target from Snowcrows. Yeah, good things. Good community content.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not a raider, but it's always interesting seeing people pull off these crazy
Yeah,
raid kill times.
yeah, yeah.
I like
And
it.
this time around, they're not letting the hardcore guilds like QT participate. They are letting players that are in the guilds participate, but no team can have more than 3 of the hardcore players, which is
And that's just at Snowcrow's discretion who the hardcore players are. They're
yeah,
like a they're like
if
a
they've
short list.
participated, yeah, if they've participated in the ARP or ERP tournaments, they're
Okay,
considered the hardcore guilds.
gotcha.
So
So it's sort of
kind
like
of levels it out a little bit better.
sort of like Teapot's amateur rating party type deal.
Kind of, yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. So, because it's like if you just let the hardcore guilds participate, they're gonna win every time because that's what they do. They do speed clears all the time, whereas average Joe Raider may not be doing speed clears.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to figure out how to make the comp that comes up work because it's all random. So yeah, it's fun.
Chat does say you may not be a raider, but are you an SAB speedrunner? Yes, I am. I hold the 3rd place record right now for tribulation mode. All
Don't
worlds.
believe him. Just likes to meet.
There's a video up on my YouTube channel of me speedrunning both worlds on Trib.
It's a big lie. Don't believe him.
1 minute 30 seconds.
No.
The whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
It's probably not even the record. That's the thing, is they're probably like that slow.
Yeah. So that's our show. I don't want to keep you over because I know you got to go and meet up with your folks.
Yeah, I gotta go in a little bit.
Anything you want to say about any of what we talked about? We've got a roadmap and all that good stuff.
Hey,
ArenaNet,
I would love for runes and sigil legendaries to be chill. All right? I would love that. That's all I have to say.
Aaron had a meltdown on Twitter. If you don't follow him, you can go back and see.
If you guys like Twitter meltdowns, by God, follow my Twitter.
He does. He has meltdowns a lot.
At least 2 a week, I'd say. I think 2 a week is probably a good
Probably,
number.
probably a good number. Yeah.
So if you like very trivial meltdowns over nothing, go ahead and follow
That's
at
it.
Guild Wars Monk.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
All right. Well, that's us for this week. We will be back in 2 weeks' time, for another episode of TyriaNow. That will be on the 20th. And if you would like to follow us, you can hit all the follows that are below us here. On Twitter, on Twitch. If you want to get in touch with the show, you can email us, or you can DM us on Twitter. You can follow us at InkySticks for me on Twitter and Twitch, at Guild Wars Monk for Aaron on Twitter and Twitch.
At TyriaNow for the show on Twitter.
Now for the show, Twitter and Twitch. Yes.
And guys, if you're new to the Twitch channel today, hit the follow button.
That's right.
It's really easy.
It's just right up there.
Yeah.
That's our show. And we'll see you next time. And we'll probably be back to our normal 5 o'clock show.
Yes.
So thanks for coming out early. Thanks for the raid, Mad Realms. We appreciate it. And thank you to all of you for being here and keeping us company and listening to our banter, chatting up with us about your thoughts on the game. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.